Many remember Bionicle as the toy phenomenon that dominated the 2000s, captivating us with its iconic figures, epic commercials, and unforgettable merchandise. But Bionicle wasn't just about the toys or the merch, it was the story behind them that sparked the mania. The lore of Bionicle is nothing short of legendary, and it's no wonder this franchise saved LEGO from the brink of bankruptcy. At first glance, the story begins with a simple premise. Biomechanical beings like the Matoran and Toa living in a world that blends tribal culture with advanced technology, their true origins shrouded in mystery. But as we'll uncover, Bionicle's layers of storytelling peel back to reveal a sprawling universe filled with twists, turns, and one of the most jaw-dropping reveals in fiction. Prepare to dive into the epic saga of Bionicle, a tale as intricate and unique as the figures themselves. Without further ado, let us begin. Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle. In the time before time, the Great Spirit descended from the heavens, carrying the ones called the Matoran to a paradise home. They were separate and without purpose, so the Great Spirit illuminated them with the three virtues: unity, duty, and destiny. They embraced these gifts, and in gratitude, they named their island home Matanui, after the Great Spirit himself. But their happiness was not to last. For Matanui's brother, the Makuta, was jealous of these honors. He betrayed him, casting a spell over Matanui, who fell into a deep slumber. The Makuta was free to unleash his shadows, and unleash them he did. From his lair deep beneath the surface, Makuta Pterodax corrupted the natural order. He unleashed his influence through the Rahi, creatures once wild and free, now twisted into monstrous servants of his will. The island of Matanui was no longer the paradise it had once been. The Matoran, biomechanical villagers who lived in harmony with the island's elements, now struggled to survive in the face of terror and oppression. The 6 elemental Matoran villages each reflected the unique environment of its region. Tokoro, a fortress of molten rock surrounded by fiery lava flows, was a place of intense heat, where the Matoran of fire guarded their home with unmatched bravery. Gokoro floated serenely on the water, its village perched atop enormous lily pads, yet its peace was frequently shattered by attacks from the corrupted sea creatures under Makuta's control. Kokoro clung to icy cliffs, a frozen city of solitude and reflection, where its inhabitants battled both the harsh cold and relentless Rahi assaults. Lekoro, high in the treetops of the lush jungle, swayed with the wind, a haven for the daring Matoran of air who fought to defend their canopy from airborne predators. Deep below the island, Onukoro's labyrinthine tunnels served as both a refuge and a battleground, its industrious Matoran of Earth fending off Rahi incursions in the darkness. Meanwhile, Pokoro sprawled across the arid desert, its stone-carved dwellings a testament to the ingenuity and determination of the Matoran of stone. Guiding the Matoran were the wise and enigmatic Turaga Vakama, Nakama, Matau, Anewa, Wenua, and Nuju, elders who carried the burden of preserving hope through the ancient prophecies of the Great Spirit. They spoke of 6 legendary warriors, each tied to an elemental power, who would descend from beyond the stars. These heroes, chosen by destiny, would stand against the shadow of Makuta and fulfill their sacred mission, to awaken the Great Spirit and restore balance to their world. One day, this prophecy began to unfold. 6 canisters washed ashore on the beaches of Mata Nui. From within these vessels emerged the Toa Mata, biomechanical heroes imbued with elemental powers. There was Tahu, the Toe of Fire, whose fiery temperament matched his searing power. Gali, the Toe of Water, a calm and wise figure whose empathy united her team. Kopaka, the solitary Toa of Ice, analytical and aloof but fiercely loyal. Liwa, the daring Toe of Air, who brought energy and playfulness even in the face of danger. Honua, the Toe of Earth, whose quiet strength and methodical thinking grounded the team. And Pahatu, the Toe of Stone, a cheerful and reliable ally known for his incredible speed. The Toe awoke with no memory of their origins or purpose, only an innate sense of duty that guided their actions. It was the Turaga who revealed their mission. The Toa are destined to awaken the Great Spirit Mata Nui and must recover the Kanohi Masks of Power, ancient relics scattered across the island. Each mask granted unique abilities, such as shielding, levitation, or enhanced strength, and only by collecting all 6 of their respective masks could the Toa unlock their full elemental potential. The journey was fraught with trials, danger, and self-discovery. In the desert canyons of Powahi, Pahatu raced against time and treacherous terrain to claim the Kanohi Kakama, the Mask of Speed, while protecting the Matoran from an ambush by infected Rahi. Kopaka, deep within the icy sanctuaries of Kowahi, uncovered the Kanohia Kaku, the Mask of X-ray vision, by navigating through avalanches and outsmarting shadowy predators. Gali braved the depths of Gawahi's oceanic caves to retrieve the Kanohi Kaukau, the Mask of Water Breathing, battling ferocious Tarakava and overcoming her own fear of isolation. Liwa's search for the Kanohi Miru, the Mask of Levitation, took him high into the jungle canopy of Leiwahi, where he was ambushed by swarms of infected Nui Rama. Overwhelmed, he fell under Makuta's influence when his mask was replaced with a corrupted Kanohi. Honua, called upon to rescue his fallen comrade, fought valiantly to free Liwa from Makuta's thrall, breaking the hold of darkness through sheer will and unity. Meanwhile, Tahu's quest took him through the volatile landscape of Tawahi. He confronted his own impatience and arrogance when his fiery temper led to a near-catastrophic eruption while retrieving a Kanohi from the slopes of a volcano. Gali's intervention and calming presence prevented disaster, but their clash foreshadowed the internal struggles the Toa would face as a team. Their ultimate test awaited them deep beneath the island in Makuta's lair. The Turaga's guidance led them to the entrance of a vast cavern system, where the shadows grew heavier with each step. The air itself seemed to thrum with Makuta's presence, a suffocating aura that sought to erode their resolve. The tunnels were guarded by Makuta's most fearsome creations, massive mechanical beasts equipped with near impenetrable armor and relentless strength. The Toa discovered that by combining their powers, they could merge into powerful forms called Toa Kaita. Tahu, Pahatu, and Honua united to become Akamai, a being of strength and strategy. Gali, Liwa, and Kopaka formed Wairaha, the embodiment of wisdom and clarity. These forms allowed them to overpower the Manas, clearing a path to Makuta himself. When the Toa finally confronted Makuta, they did not find the monstrous titan they had imagined. Instead, the Master of Darkness appeared before them as a lone, decrepit Matoran. He taunted the Toa, belittling their quest and sowing doubt about their ability to awaken Mata Nui. As the Toa stood their ground, Makuta's form dissolved into a swirling void of shadow, his true essence manifesting as a chaotic storm of darkness and malice. Tentacles of shadow lashed out, testing the Toa's limits and driving them back with sheer force. No matter how fiercely they fought, Makuta's presence seemed invincible, an embodiment of fear and despair. Yet, the Toa had learned the true meaning of unity. Together, they channeled their elemental powers into a single blinding strike of light, shattering Makuta's shadowy form and banishing his presence, at least for a time. The Toa emerged victorious, and the Matoran celebrated their triumph, their spirits lifted for the first time in years. But even in their moment of joy, the Turaga warned that this was only the beginning. Matanui remained asleep, and while Makuta had been defeated, his shadow lingered in the corners of the island. Though the Toamata had defeated Makuta Pterodax and banished his shadow from the island, their victory was short-lived. Even as the Matoran celebrated their newfound hope, strange tremors began to shake the island of Matanui. The Turaga, ever cryptic, spoke of an old warning from before the Matorans' time on the island. A warning about the Borok, creatures of destruction that were neither alive nor entirely machine. These cleaning machines were part of an ancient and mysterious system, designed to prepare the island for something greater that will be revealed later on in the Bionicle story. The Turaga's explanations were vague, leaving the Toa with more questions than answers. These insect-like machines burst forth from hidden nests deep beneath Matanui, spilling across the island in a tide of devastation. They moved in coordinated groups, each swarm tied to a specific elemental power. The Tanok, with their mastery over fire, ignited forests and burned villages to the ground. The Galok, creatures of water, flooded Garkoro with tidal waves. The Levak, controlling acid, melted through the jungle canopies of Liwahi. The Nurvok burrowed beneath Onukoro, causing cave-ins and threatening to collapse the entire underground village. The Korak, with their icy breath, froze entire regions of Kowahi, while the Porak leveled the rocky deserts of Pokoro with their tremendous strength. Each Bohawk was controlled by a Krana, organic brains housed within the Bohawk's mechanical shells. These Krana were both the source of the Borok's power and their greatest weakness. The Toa realized that by capturing the Krana, they could disrupt the swarms and uncover the Bohawk's true purpose. The Krana themselves posed an additional danger. If a Krana latched onto a Toa, it would attempt to overwrite their mind, turning them into a servant of the Borok's mission. The majority of Lee Koro fell victim to the swarm. Even Toa Liwa was captured, succumbing to the control of the Krana and joining the swarms in their destructive march. The other Toa were forced to confront their friend, eventually freeing him from the Krana's influence. The Matoran aided greatly in the Toa's fight against the swarm. By modifying Borok that had lost their Krana, they converted them into powerful Boxer exosuits, using them to attack the Borok. The Toa's journey led them deep into the underground nests of the Borok, where they confronted the true source of the swarm's power, the Barag, twin queens who controlled the Borok with a hive mind intelligence. Kardok and Gardok were massive and imposing, their bodies protected by layers of impenetrable armor. Using the Krana they had collected, they unlocked powerful Exo-Toa suits mysteriously hidden in the Borok nests. Empowered by these suits, they felt confident in their victory. The queens unleashed the full might of the swarms, sending wave after wave of Borok to defend their hive. Overpowered, the Toa realized that the Exo-Toa suits were hindering them by draining their powers. Instead, they were once again compelled to unite their elemental powers in new and creative ways. Finally, the Toa unleashed a combined blast that created a prison out of a strange substance known as energized protodermis, trapping the Barag and severing their control over the swarms. After their surprise victory, the cave collapsed, and they fell into a pool of energized protodermis, a substance both dangerous and transformative. Emerging from the liquid, they found themselves changed. Their armor had been upgraded, their weapons enhanced, and their elemental powers strengthened. They had become the Toa Nuva, stronger and more capable than ever before. The Toa Nuva settled into their roles as protectors of the Matoran. But in the shadows of the defeated Borok nests, 6 new figures stirred to life. These were the Borok Cow, elite variants of the Borok swarms, imbued with immense power and sentience. Unlike the standard Borok, the Cow acted with independence and intelligence, each driven by a singular purpose: to free the Barag queens from their protodermis prison. Each Borok Cow possessed a unique and terrifying power. Tanok Cow, the Borok Cow of electricity, could summon devastating lightning strikes that incapacitated its foes and fried their equipment. Parak Cow unleashed intense plasma capable of melting through any obstacle, including the Toa Nuva's enhanced armor. Nuvok Cow manipulated gravitational forces, pinning enemies to the ground or hurling them high into the air. Korak Kal wielded sound waves as its weapon, producing deafening blasts that disoriented and immobilized its targets. Galok Kal controlled magnetic fields with terrifying precision, disarming opponents by yanking away their tools and bending metal to its will. Lastly, Levak Kal created devastating voids that suffocated enemies or crushed them with the immense pressure of airless space. The Borok Kal's emergence was swift and devastating. They began their mission by targeting the Toa Nuva, stealing their Nuva symbols, sacred artifacts tied to each Toa's elemental abilities. Without their symbols, the Toa's connection to their elemental powers was severed, leaving them weakened and vulnerable. Despite their loss of power, the Toa refused to give up. They tracked the Borok Kal across the island, devising strategies to slow their progress. But the Toa had a secret weapon. After the defeat of the Borok Queens, the lifeless Borhok had been reprogrammed by the Matoran. Leading an army of Tanok against the Nuvok Kal, Tahu was sure of his victory. But using his control of gravity, the Nuvok Kal made Tahu's Borok army float up into orbit. He then turned on Tahu, making him so heavy that he could not move. Elsewhere, the Toa tried transforming into their powerful Tokita forms, but the Borok Kal easily countered this by combining together too. Almost everything the Toa tried ended in failure, and any victory seemed to only be temporary. However, Pahatu and Onua managed to remove the Krana Kal from one of the Borok Kal. But the Krana informed the Toa that their victory was pointless, as they had already found the location of the Borok Queens. Rushing to the nest, the Toa was surprised to see the Exo Toa suits fighting the Borok Kal, suggesting that these Exo Toa might be a failsafe against the Borok left by another mysterious force. However, the Toa were unable to fully ponder on what was happening, as the Exo Toa suits were soon destroyed by the Borok Kal. The Borok Kal then began using the Toa Nuva symbols they had stolen to free the queens from their prison. Fortunately, Tahu then used a secret weapon gifted to him by Turaga Vakama. It was the Mask of Time, one of the most powerful masks in existence. Slowing down time, this gave the Toa just enough time to come up with a plan before the queens could be released. The Toa, out of options, made a risky decision. They poured their remaining energy into the Nuva symbols, overloading them with elemental power. As the Borok Kal tried to wield this energy, their singular focus became their undoing. The power coursing through the symbols backfired, overwhelming and destroying the Borok Kal in a spectacular display of elemental chaos. The barracks prison held firm, and the Toa Nuva's elemental powers were restored. Even as the Toa Nuva worked tirelessly to rebuild and protect the island of Matanui, the shadows of Makuta's influence stirred once more. Far from defeated, Makuta Pterodax watched from his lair deep beneath the island, devising a new plan to crush the Matoran and their protectors. This chapter began with an innocent discovery in Takoro. Takua, an adventurous and curious chronicler, stumbled upon a strange totem while exploring a forbidden lava cave. When the totem fell into the molten lava, it revealed something extraordinary, a great Kanohi mask glowing with otherworldly energy. Tahu, leader of the Toa Nuva, instructed Takua to bring the mask to the Turaga. The Turaga identified it as the Mask of Light, or the Avoki, a sacred artifact that foretold the coming of a seventh Toa of Light, a hero destined to bring light to the darkness and fulfill Matanui's will. When the Turaga declared that a herald must deliver the mask to its rightful owner, Takua tried to pass the responsibility to his friend Jala. Jala reluctantly agreed, appointing Takua as his traveling companion. Together, they set out on a perilous journey to uncover the seventh Toa, unaware of the dark forces moving against them. Makuta, realizing the danger posed by the Mask of Light, unleashed his most fearsome creations yet, the Rakshi. The Rakshi, dark creations born from Makuta's essence and animated by the sinister Krata within them, each wielded a unique and devastating power that reflected their purpose as instruments of chaos and destruction. Turak, the Rakshi of Fear, could instill crippling dread in its enemies, paralyzing them with overwhelming terror and breaking their will to fight. Guruk, the Rakshi of Disintegration, possessed the power to reduce objects and structures to dust with a single touch, leaving ruin in its wake. Lorak, the Rakshi of poison, could corrupt and toxify its surroundings, making environments hostile and inflicting debilitating effects on its foes. Panruk, the Rakshi of fragmentation, unleashed devastating blasts that shattered anything in its path into countless pieces. Vorak, the Rakshi of absorption, drained the energy of its enemies, using their strength to bolster its own while leaving them weak and defenseless. Lastly, Kurak, the Rakshi of anger, amplified rage and aggression in those around it, inciting conflict and turning allies against each other in chaos. Makuta released 3 Rakshi, Panruk, Lorak, and Gurak, to hunt down the mask and its bearers. The Rakshi attacked Takoro, leaving destruction in their wake. The village was utterly destroyed, sinking into the lava as the Matoran fled to safety. In the icy mountains near Kokoro, the Rakshi caught up with the pair of travelers. Fortunately, Kapaka, Toa of Ice, arrived just in time, freezing the Rakshi in a lake and buying the travelers precious time. But the danger was far from over. Makuta, still manipulating events from the shadows, warned Takua that Jala would die if he did not surrender the mask. Stricken with guilt, Takua abandoned the quest, hoping to keep his friends safe. Meanwhile, Makuta unleashed 3 more Rakshi, Kurak, Vorak, and Turak, escalating his efforts to retrieve the mask. The Toa Nuva battled valiantly against the Rakshi, but their powers tested the Toa like never before. Lerak's poison and Kurak's manipulation of anger pushed Tahu to his limits, nearly breaking him before his fellow Toa intervened to heal him. Takua, realizing his mistake, returned to Jala and apologized, taking responsibility for the mask and his destiny. Their journey led them to the Kininui Temple, the sacred heart of the island, where the Rakshi launched a final assault. The Toa Nuva arrived to hold off the creatures, but Turak broke through, targeting Takua. In a heroic act, Jala took the blast meant for his friend, sacrificing himself. Stricken by grief but fueled by resolve, Takua finally accepted his destiny. Placing the mask of light on his face, he transformed into Takanuva, the Toe of Light. Descending to Makuta's lair, Takanuva was intent on destroying the Makuta once and for all. As Takanuva confronted the Makuta, the Master of Shadows claimed that Matanui's sleep preserved the fragile order of the universe, and that the Toa's actions would invite disaster. Despite Makuta's warnings, Takanuva pressed on. Their battle, set in the shadows of the lair, was a ferocious clash of light and darkness. Makuta used every tactic to undermine Takanuva's resolve, attempting to drown him in doubt and fear, but Takanuva's light was relentless. Above, the Toa Nuva and Turaga realized that if they wanted to awaken the Great Spirit, they too would have to descend into Makuta's cave. Just as the Toa and Turaga entered Makuta's lair, the battle reached its zenith. Takanuva attempted to remove the Makuta's mask of shadows, and both combatants were thrown into a vat of energized protodermis. The energy of their clash caused an extraordinary reaction, fusing Takanuva and Makuta into a single entity, Takuta Nuva, a being that embodied both light and shadow. Takuta Nuva opened a massive gate within Makuta's cave, a gate that connected the island of Matanui to the ancient home of the Matoran, the island of Metru Nui. Using his immense power, Takuta Nuva brought Jala back to life before being crushed by the gate. However, using the Mask of Light, Takanuva was also revived, and the Great Spirit was finally reawoken after 1,000 years of slumber. While they celebrated this miraculous turn of events, the Toa were left with lingering questions. Was Makuta truly gone, or had his spirit merely retreated into the shadows? And more importantly, was there a grain of truth to his warning that awakening Matanui might unleash something far worse? The answer to their profound questions would soon be answered. As the Matoran of Matanui celebrated their victories and the return of light to their island, the Turaga gathered the villagers to reveal a secret they had kept for centuries. The Matoran had always believed their history began on Matanui, but the Turaga explained that this was not their first home. Long before the Matoran came to the island, they had lived in a place of wonder and innovation, the grand metropolis of Metru Nui. And with the Makuta guarding the gate to Metru Nui defeated and the Great Spirit awoken, the Matoran could finally return home. Gathering the Toa Nuva, the Turaga revealed that 1,000 years ago, they too had been Toa. This next chapter of the story, the Turaga story, begins 1,000 years before the events that occurred on the island of Matanui, set within the bustling utopia of Metru Nui. We will reveal the harrowing story of how the Makuta had forced the Matoran from Metru Nui and put the Great Spirit into an eternal slumber. The road to Metru Nui's ruin began with the machinations of Makuta Teridax. Acting in secret, Makuta kidnapped Metru Nui's leader, Turaga Doom, and replaced him with a robotic duplicate under his control. Makuta Teridax, who at this point was meant to be the protector of the city, also reprogrammed Metru Nui's police force, the Vaki. Instead of defending the city, the Vaki turned into brutal enforcers that ensured no Matoran stepped out of line. He ordered the city's remaining Toa on impossible missions, where they were systematically hunted down and killed by Makuta's sidekick, Eliminator. One by one, the Toa of Metru Nui fell, leaving Tole Khan the last defender of the city. Desperate to create more Toa from the city's Matoran, Likan stole 6 Toa stones from the Great Temple, imbuing them with his power. But he was pursued by 2 of Makuta's minions, Likan's corrupted brother, Nidiki, and Kreka, who were members of the Dark Hunters, a shadowy cartel of mercenaries that will become more relevant later on in the Bionicle story. As Nidiki and Kreka closed in, Likan embarked on a desperate mission to deliver
84 on Metacritic and an 8.
Tensile. Out. You take the outside letters. Fuck you. Show me what the answer is. Listen, we'll use these letters as the indicator indicates.
Jockey.
I'm still in the voice call. That was Chibli saying chicken jockey. I'm still in the Discord. That scared the shit out of me, man. Chibli, are you in chat? He did it so fast. He must have been nervous because it didn't capture like the whole audio. Chicken jockey. I love saying chicken jockey, man. And the more it gets funny, or the longer it goes on and people find it less funny, the more funny it becomes. I should buy a Cybertruck and make the license plate chicken jockey. Have the most, like, just baiting everywhere I drive. Imagine. I would key your car for sure. You wouldn't. You would say, I thought about. You would go into the Discord and say, I saw this car. I thought and then like, you should have keyed it. Yeah, I should have. You wouldn't do it though. But neighboring letters are inaccurate. Okay, what's the definition, man? Mum. Our answer will be a word that's silent. Ow! Mum's the word, bro. Silent. Imagine. Silence! I solve you. That's true. That's damn true. What did we not play today? We didn't play Disorderly. Guys, I think I'm gonna don't like expect it to happen soon. I think we're gonna play some Night Rain now that I got a new PC, man. Apparently the solo Night Rain is actually good now. It was pretty good when I was playing it on PS5 before the update came out, but it was really hard. It was like really, really hard. But I think I might start a new file on PC. Apollo seems to be down. Maybe I can get Kate down. I don't know. We're gonna do some 2xKO too. Don't get me wrong. Deadlock when? I don't think Deadlock's gonna happen. I think Deadlock is just. Every time I always forget. Like I'm like maybe I should play a MOBA, and then I play a MOBA for one stream and it goes insanely well, and then I'm like I should just do that forever, and then the second stream I lose 4 games in a row and go fuck this, man. I'm never playing this shit again. Anyway, 1 second. Sort these TV shows by the date of their premiere. Okay, Leave It to Beaver is from the 50s. Star Trek's from the 60s. Sesame Street is from the 70s. The A-Team is also from the 70s. Happy Days is from the 80s. Law and Order maybe it's from the early 90s, but the problem is Sesame Street, I think, is 75. I'm going to say this is right. Maybe these two need to go. I can live with that. Happy Days was 74. Holy cow. I thought Happy Days, I would have said 1980. I would have said 1980 for Happy Days. The more you know, man. Can you play Jackbox? Jackbox 11 has some bangers. Just so you know, Renana55, if I Google Jackbox 11 and it says it's not out till October, you're not chatting till October either. Comes out Q4 2025. No user reviews. Planned release date Q4 2025. Most recent news. Watch the first trailer for Party Pack 11. Any last words? I've got you pulled up here. Account created literally, I think, the day Rudy Gobert touched the microphones. That's like probably the most new accounts were created on that single day than any other day in Twitch history, if I had to guess. But can somebody find that date for me? Because the account was created March 17th, 2020. That was March 13th. Okay, so maybe they were like, I got lots of time. I'm at home right now. I'm on lockdown. So they were like, I'll follow this guy. All right, let me see what I meant when it came out. That's not what you said. You said I meant when it comes out. I don't know why I made it sound so stupid. You wrote it right, and I read it so wrong. Oh shit! You know I can't ban you after that. There's no shot I can ban you after that, man. Wouldn't be honest. But I can make you play Puckdoku or watch me play Puckdoku. Ah, shit. This might be tough, man. I don't give a fuck, dude. I just realized, I'm just looking at this and I'm realizing I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about this. And it's not just because I don't know any of the answers. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care. Milk on me lips. None of this shit is fucking real, man. Zoom me. Tom Cruise, title contains the 3 or more word title, 95 2015. 95 to 2015, Valkyrie. Tom, this is, Mal should watch this before he makes the chicken zigzags, man. Tom Cruise contains the Color of Money. The Color of Money. 3 or more word title with Tom Cruise. So you got, I mean, there's a lot. There's Born on the 4th of July for one. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation or something. And Thomas Cruise. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking of some shit that people forget that he's in. And I'm not coming up with, you know what? He's in A Few Good Men, is he not? We'll come back to this. Rachel Weisz. Title contains the. We got lots here. 3 or more word title. Let me get The Constant Gardener. 14.5 NL viewers. I mean, you got The Favorite. Sorry, my desktop background just changed and it freaked me the fuck out. 1:47 p.m. every day, desktop changing. Rachel Weisz. Don't just want to play the mummy. She's in The Favorite. She's in The Lobster. She's in The Constant Gardener. She's in The Fountain. The Fountain. Thank you, brain. And then The Lobster versus The Favorite is going to be too late. So I'm going to go with The Lobster, which probably got a lot for So I think what a great poster, man. I always imagine it too. I know it looks like he's giving a hug. I always imagine it like this is a lady's legs though, and he's like eating a ghost's box. I just imagine like he's eating a ghost pussy. He's holding, the ghost is like upside down, and he's supporting the ghost's entire weight. What's wrong with this guy? Oh no, I like to laugh. There must be something wrong with him. Have you looked at the state of the world these days, man? We need a comedian president. Ed Norton title contains the. Yeah, The Score, one of the most nuanced portrayals of anything media has ever produced. The Score, 3 or more word title, Ed Norton, Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Released from 95 to 2015. 25th Hour, my GOAT. Brian Cox, my GOAT. Brian Cox really did adaptation and then said, fuck it, run it back with 25th Hour. That's a stud right there. Then he said, run it back with X2, X-Men United. I'll be fucking Colonel William Stryker or whatever. And be like, fuck you, Wolverine, you fucking bitch. I don't give a fuck about you. Check it out, check it out. Lady Deathstrike is in the movie. Let's have Kelly Hu do a bunch of fucking interviews about how excited she is to play Lady Deathstrike. And then Lady Deathstrike has no lines in the fucking movie. She did all the press. She did all the junkets. She just comes out and is like, I'm female Wolverine, and then fucking dies. It's always been my dream to be Lady Deathstrike. Shut the... Okay, but X2 is really good. X2 is really good, though. That's a good-ass movie, man. She dies real cool. Yeah. She got injected with the adamantium pipe. I don't even know what you call it. I'm not making a euphemism. Tom Cruise... That's not the best way to phrase that. 3 or more word title. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. I mean, the Mission Impossibles are going to cannibalize a lot, which is good. I guess I mean, Born on the 4th of July is kind of like the easy play. Mission of Possible. I'm going to play Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. No, I'm going to play Fallout because I think that in people's brains, after they type Mission Impossible, they'll be like, I can't play that one. It's only 3 words. And we're going to get a lot of heat off of that. Dead Reckoning Part 1. They fell victim to the heuristic that more words somehow equals a better answer. And you're a fool. You're a fool and I've defeated you. Bunch of movies in here. All the right moves. I don't know that one. I'll admit. MI2, I didn't have the stones. I didn't have the stones because I was like, maybe 2 isn't a word. Maybe it's a number. Last Samurai, really? I'm surprised Last Samurai is the rarest correct guess. This made like $200 million at the box office, bro. The Comedy Central uncensored roast of Bruce Willis. They shouldn't do that, man. They shouldn't be doing that. The Simpsons movie. I didn't know Ed Norton was in the Simpsons movie. Spell check. Get started. Play the daily. Damn, spell check loads fast as fuck, man.
Cuckoo, a noun meaning a largely grayish-brown European bird. Hire, a noun meaning payment for the temporary use of something. This word originates from Middle English, which was
Okay, that didn't seem right.
Yem, noun meaning a border of a cloth article doubled back and stitched down. This word originates from Middle English and was derived from Old English. Yem, noun meaning a border of a cloth article doubled back and stitched down. This word originates from Middle English and was derived from Old English. Yem, a noun meaning a border of a cloth article doubled back and stitched down.
Yem, a noun? I don't know what the fuck. Oh, you're right. It's probably hem. Oh. It's probably hem.
Idea, a noun meaning slumped, a verb meaning to fall or
slumped is it's so funny. I'm sorry, it's one of the funniest words. It's how Dan describes someone after he gets them in PUBG, man.
Rattled, a verb meaning to make. Hydrangea, a noun meaning any. Ewer, a noun meaning a vase-shaped pitcher or jug. The word originates from Latin aquarium meaning water source via Middle English. Ewer, A noun,
It-
meaning
it
a vase-shaped
originates
pitcher or
from
jug. The word
aquarium.
originates from Latin aquarium, meaning water source via Middle English. Ewer. A noun, meaning a vase-shaped pitcher or jug.
Where would
The word
ewer
originates from
come-
Latin aquarium, meaning water source via Middle English.
Fuck you.
Photogenic. A adjective meaning produced or mitochondria.
Yes, man.
A noun meaning-
Yes.
Risorgimento. A noun meaning the 19th century movement for Italian political unity. Risorgere is
One of these days we're going to get that. It's the third time we've had Risorgimento.
rondo. A
Castlevania.
nugatory. A adjective meaning of little or no consequence, trifling, inconsequential. Derived
Oh, shit.
samarium. A noun meaning a silvery white lustrous metallic element of the rare earth group that is used especially in permanent magnets. Samarskite originates from New Latin, borrowed from French. Samarium. A noun meaning a silvery white
Oh! Oh!
appalling. A adjective meaning inspiring horror, dismay, or disgust. Appalling.
That was a tough one. 2 P's and 2 L's. Appalling. Appalling. I think we clutched up a little bit. Damn, they changed the layout, man. Risorgimento. So close. Yem. Yem is pissing me off. What do? We didn't do box office game. It's like my favorite game. Box office game. February 28th, 2003, bro. It's like near Valentine's Day, 9th grade. This should be easy, man. Warner Brothers, 16 million, so it wasn't shit coming out. Jet Li, February 2003. Hero, maybe? House of Flying Daggers, action crime drama. House of Flying, no, that's like 05. This could be The One. Jet Li's The One. Also starring DMX. It's Cradle to the Grave. My bad, y'all. That should have been automatic. Cradle to the Grave. He's got a damn choker on, okay? I don't know. I don't have to say anything else. Jet Li's got a damn choker on. I gotta see this, man. DreamWorks, Luke Wilson. Comedy starring Luke Wilson from 2003. Way pre-Idiocracy. I have no idea what this could be. It's old school, of course. It's old school. All the fun of college, none of the education. Now I know where I am because I remember going to my dentist's office. And I was at my dentist's office in the 9th grade, and I was like, I'm going to see a movie with my friends. And he was like, what are you going to go see? And I was like, we're going to go see Old School. And he was like, that looks funny. And I was like, you're old. In my head, I was like, you're old. But now I know where I was, man. I can put myself back. 20th Century Fox, 84 million, starring Ben Affleck from 2003. It's a fantasy. This is Daredevil. That's obviously Daredevil. You don't even have to think about that. Next. Okay. I'm back. Paramount Pictures, 77 million. Kate Hudson from 2003 is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It was a phenomenon. Obviously, it's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Okay, what's coming next? Miramax Pictures. I made a lot of money, but this is going to be awards bait because it's been in theaters for 10 weeks. Starring Renee Zellweger. Awards. Comedy. It's Chicago, obviously. Time. Chicago Me. Great movie. I should have just guessed Chicago. 85th percentile. I told you, I brought myself the fuck back. I brought myself back. I lost all my scores, but that's okay. Chicago, great movie. Great movie. We should do a Chicago watch party, man. Chicago didn't do well? What do you mean it didn't do well, man? $306 million worldwide. $170 million for a fucking musical domestic? That's good, man. Lions put up 50 on them. That's true, man. But they had it coming. They only had Caleb Williams to blame. Actually, the cornerback like shredded his ankle or something, right? Like that's pretty hard for the secondary to slow down the I mean, in the Lions, they can beat you many different ways. You know, they could pass it to Amon-Ra, St. Brown. They could give it to Gibbs. They can give it to Montgomery. Goff can run it himself a little bit. They can bite your kneecap off. You get the idea. Goff cannot run it. He can run faster than you, probably. That's right. I said that. Guys, this is not good. Like, this is impossible. I think maybe Daniel Day-Lewis is in The Last of the Mohicans. Now, obviously, Raven-Symoné is in The Cheetah Girls, but I don't know any other movie she's in. So first I got to take a look at the cast. We got Daniel Day-Lewis, Madeline Stowe. Is my goat in this? Two of my goats are in this. And this guy. I had nothing against him. And my goats! This movie's full of goats, man! Jared Harris, obviously, but this is Martin, aka Frasier's dad's friend from Frasier. I was looking for Graham Greene, but he ain't in this. They cast Dylan Baker instead. I know it's the most podcaster image I've ever seen. It's the pot calling the kettle black, but it's the most millennial image. What do I know? I know her from something, bro. What is she in here? I know Madeline Stowe. What are you most? Because you were the girl from 12 Monkeys. Okay. And Shortcuts. Damn, you've been in a lot of shit. You haven't been in that much shit lately, but you've been in some good shit. Okay. All right. So Daniel Day-Lewis, fucking Jared Harris. Who else was I looking at here? Now, here's where things get interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Not getting much. I'm going to go with Raven-Symoné. Raven-Symoné was famously in The Atheist Delusion. Tim Allen. No, Amanda Peet! No! How'd they get Richard Dawkins here, man? I thought his whole thing 10 years ago was like not believing in God. Anyway, whatever. Maybe this movie's like about how it's actually good to be an atheist. You think? Maybe not. Anyway. Well, the good news is, okay, wait, I'm trying to get to Swanky. I'm thinking it goes Pete's 9 yards. Bruce Willis, What Just Happened. Now you got an ensemble cast here. Turturro gets you to Lebowski, which gets you to Buscemi, which gets you to Fargo, which gets you to McDormand, which gets you to Nomadland, which of course gets you to Swanky. From Swanky, obviously, you go Strathern. Let's go Strathern. Let's go, I don't know what's going on in Love, Maryland. Star-studded cast, a.k.a. it's a documentary. But I'll use that to my advantage. How about Oliver Platt, Two to Tango? He's not in that one. He's in the other one. Fools Rush In, then. He's not in Fools Rush In? Who am I thinking of, man? Where am I going here? Daniel Day-Lewis. Madeline Stowe. 12 Monkeys. Brad Pitt. I'm thinking of ending things. Jesse Plemons, Civil War. Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst, Virgin Suicides, Josh Hartnett, lucky number 11, Bruce Willis, 12 Monkeys, Madeline Stowe.